Welcome to the Revolution review, guys. I'm going to say this. If I mess up trying to cover this thing, there was a lot of content with all these matches. So if I mess up on something, sorry. I'm going to say this. If you haven't seen Revolution, watch it because it was a damn good show. It wasn't that it was the most incredible wrestling because it was great wrestling. It was because it was fun. This is something that people in WWE do not understand. The most fun you can have in a wrestling match or a wrestling card is that you don't think of it about as wrestling. It's just fun. It's enjoyable. That is real entertainment. When you're so absorbed in it, you think of fun, enjoyment, spectacle, things like that. It's just round fun. First match, Haggar versus Dustin. Now, this was one of the 2-week matches on the card. I'm sorry, it was. If anybody liked it, cool. But I'm going to say this about Haggar. He made a big mistake. He should have been more into MMA than doing pro wrestling moves. Because honestly, even though his wife was there, his wifey was there, that couldn't take away, next to him kissing the hell out of her. That was kind of interesting. I think I got it in my face. Look, when it comes down to it, Haggar's set up for MMA. There is no denying it. When you saw him in the ring, he just looked freaking tanked. He did. He looked tanked. Dustin, who's older than I am, he's nearly 51 years old now. He's reaching 51. I'm going to be 49 this year. He should be tanked, but let's be honest, Dustin is a bit of a freak. He's not a natural guy that's near my age or older than me. It's rare to see someone in his age being really active in the ring or being active, period. But when I saw Haggar, the guy got tanked after almost 7 to 8 minutes. And I do contribute that to being geared more to MMA fighting. He's used to fighting in MMA. He does not have cardio for the ring. It's obvious. And I kind of wish that he went down the route of acting like he was in MMA. Doing more punches, doing more strikes, doing more wrestling holds that are amateur. If he had covered it in that respect, one, it would show that he is just an MMA fighter that once was a wrestler, and it shows. 2, it would cover up the fact that he just can't go a lot in the ring. That's just me. You guys can tell me below. But it was kind of funny at one point that Dustin went up to his wifey, and then gave her a kiss. I believe I got the picture of her with paint on her face. In the end, he did use a hold to basically choke out Dustin. And Guevara did help him a little bit. But in the end, was it a bad match? No, but it wasn't really a strong match. It just wasn't. It just wasn't a very strong match. Now, next match. Okay, the second match is Darby Allin versus... This was the third best match of the night. Seeing Sammy Guevara go up against Darby Allin. It was a damn good match. And understand that... Let me put it into perspective. Guevara is a high-fly wrestler. And Darby Allin is more of a flat-out mankind hardcore wrestler that can't fly. That's what he is. And I'm being honest here. He's the real hardcore wrestler in AEW. Joey is not. And you know who I'm talking about. He just is not compared to this guy. Joey is more of a Shawn Michaels kind. And Darby Allin is a mankind type of guy. In the end, you got Darby Allin winning. It was that coffin drop. Seeing someone being willing to do that coffin drop is just beautiful. And I believe I got a catch of it. If I don't, sorry guys. But I did enjoy this match. It's the third best match of the night for me personally. Now, the Young Bucks versus Kenny and Hangman Page. Now, this was a confusing match. Now, it doesn't mean it was bad. It was very good. It told a very good story of 4 guys who made a group that shows the best of the best to go up against one another. But here's the thing. Was this about a story of the best of the best going up against each other? Or was this about Hangman Page being against the Elite? Because this is where it got very confusing. Because it's understandable that at one point that when Hangman Page, where I believe he was in the ring with Nick, he spit him in his face. And Nick did not take that well. He just went off and got angry. And once Matt got into it, they just started beating the crap out of him, including basically Kenny, who really in the very opening, I don't believe I caught it right here, but he did not want to get hurt by them or hurt them. He just wanted to do a straight wrestling match with them. And they were about to hit him, and he's covering up like, what are you doing? And they tried to be friends about it. And that's when Hangman Page spit in Nick Jackson's face. He just wanted to make it very clear. I ain't your friend. I don't want nothing to do with this. I'm not part of the elite. I'm here to keep my damn titles. And that, after that situation, is when Kenny started seeing, hey, we got to really defend our titles. These guys really are willing to do whatever they can. And this story, going with the match felt like 4 guys who are in the same group trying to show how incredibly great they are. And the story just didn't feel correct. In the end, Kenny and Page managed to retain the titles, and Kenny felt very awkward about it at first. Once the match was over, when Nick and Jack tried to say, hey, this was about just trying to get the title. We're still friends. We're still cool. We still care about you. But then you see Hangman Page on the edge of the ring, and I believe I caught that shot. And he really looked like he wanted to do a trigger on him. He really wanted to do that. Look, he wanted to do that lariat so bad. But then he backed off, and the announcers covered it, and everyone else could see it. But then, during the match, you didn't see it. Because this is where it gets a little confusing. Is this going to be Hangman Page and Kenny going up against the Bucks? Is this Hangman Page and Kenny eventually going to break? Because it would have made more better sense for the Bucks to gain the titles and then for him to do that lariat and just start the feud from here, because that was the best moment to do it. But this is just me. The match was still great, but it just seems to be confusing. Now here's the second weak match of the night, but not by a lot. It was actually better than Haggar versus Dustin, and this is Naiya Rose versus Statlander. Look, I wasn't against them, but I gotta be honest here. As cute as Statlander is, as she's a good wrestler, as dominant as Naiya Rose is, and I'm glad they gave her the title because they needed to give it to her because nothing was going on with Riho, sorry. It felt botchy. And it's due to the fact that both of these women are too new in the business. Yes, Naiya Rose has been there almost 7 years, but she doesn't show it 100%. She still seems greenish. And then Statlander didn't seem to have very good chemistry with her and could not adjust on the fly. Her 3 years shows. So you got 2 women combined have 10 years. And they at first did not have a great match at first. Got better later. And it did get very good near the end, and Naiya Rose won. I kind of wish that she had spoke afterward and say, you see, I'm a dominant bitch. No one is taking this title from me. Nobody. And I think that would have made it better. Now, admittedly, I didn't say anything about the vid pack. The vid pack was pretty good. But I wish she had her own promo. Like in the back, her own vid pack that didn't have to deal with Statlander. I really do believe they need to show what she is. Not as a transgender woman, but as what she is of her tribe. She's acting like someone who's tribal. So I wish they would kind of, if it's the native beast, then show how she is amongst her people. Show that she is destructive and that she follows the old ways and that she will destroy using the old ways here. And me also having some Native American blood, I can identify with that. Even though I am black and Spanish, I also have Native American blood too. Now, what will we get with MJF versus Cody Rhodes? A damn good match. Seeing Cody now has a tattoo on his neck, and you can see it. The Nightmare family is now tattooed on his neck. I don't know if I would have put that on my neck. For me personally, I wouldn't have put it on my neck. Maybe I would have put it on my shoulder or right next to my dad tattoo because he's got Dusty on his chest. I would have put it right next to it. Not too large, but I think that would have been better than putting it flat on his neck like that. But that's just me. You guys tell me below. It was a good story. You got a whole bunch of people coming out with Cody. He had his own band, which was actually good. The actual band that actually made his music. What was it? Downstat. I believe that's the name of the band. They sound a little botchy. I think it was due to the fact that the audio was off. That's what I think it was. Because they weren't too bad, but I think the audio was a bit off. It was a good match. Cody getting busted open a little bit really helped a lot. No, it wasn't Cody. I'm sorry. It was MJF getting busted open. That really, I think it's in my face right now. That made it more interesting. It showed how tough MJF was. At one point, we had Wardlow catching a Brandy Rose, catching her because she was trying to do whatever she could to help her man. Then you have Art getting kicked in the chest by Cody by accident because he was trying to get Wardlow away from his woman. And what was the last part? MJF getting three crossroads. But in the end, and as I said before, if anybody remembers my AEW review on Wednesday, I said, I'm wondering what they're going to do about that ring. That Cody should try to get that ring back. I knew that ring was going to be important. That he need to get it back because of what happened the last time dealing with Wardlow in the steel cage. Look what happened. Wardlow gave the ring back to MJF. He nailed Cody in the face and he won the match. Now, I was actually surprised. I thought it was going to be ended here, but it's not. And I'm not having a problem with it. But here's the thing. And this also goes with the rest of the show. Because that ring is involved, they need to do something about that ring. And the best thing to do about that ring, so Cody could challenge MJF again, is to use the ring as a catalyst for a new title. A new mid-card title. They need a title. Because as much as the show was good, you got so many people that are doing absolutely nothing in feuds that don't lead to a title. And they need one. So I'm seeing it like this. Cody gets so upset. He wants another crack at MJF. MJF says, no. You had your chance. I beat you. Cody says this. Okay, I'm going to give you an offer. If you give me one more shot at you, you turn in your ring, I will give you the opportunity to get a new title. You challenge me one more time. If you turn in your ring and challenge me, you'll be the first person to get this new North American title or Intercontinental title or International title, whatever they want to call it. Or television title, who cares? The AEW television title. Put it up on the line. Mint it for the next pay-per-view and say to him, look, I will give you this opportunity. No one else will get this chance at a title. There will be no tournaments. There will be nobody. You give me one more shot. I will issue a title. I will have one made. And it will be an official one. You turn in your ring because I don't want to get hit in the face with that damn thing again. And you give me one more shot and you will have the first crack at that title. If you beat me, you get it. If I win, it goes in a tournament. That would be good. This is what they need to do. But this is just me. You guys tell me below. This. Oh my gosh. This is the reason I was so happy with this show. Orange Cassidy versus Pac. This was my favorite match of the night. Look, I really do love Darby Allin. He gives a Mankind feel. This guy, I don't know what the hell he is, but he is the personification of how you can make wrestling unique. Look, guys, you had the Hulk Hogans. You had the Macho Man Randy Savages. You had the Ultimate Warriors. You also had the funny people like Donk the Clown. You had Kamala. You had Brutus the Barber Beefcake. You had Roddy Piper. You always had someone different. The Bushwhackers existed. Jim Duggan. Hacksaw Jim Duggan. I kept messing up his name. He was a unique person. Coco Beware was unique. This is a unique character that is funny, and when he could do the business, he will get it done. Cassidy versus Pac was my favorite match, period. And I didn't know what to make of Cassidy. It was interesting. He was different. And I've said this over the months, but I didn't know where they were going with him. Here, he was so much fun. At one point, he was doing hip tosses with his arms by his side with his hands in his pockets. He, at one point, once he had been nailed multiple times by Pac, and even Pac had a chance to pin him, but did not. He pulled his head off the mat. He knew he was in trouble, so he started rolling out of the ring, which everyone does. He did it once, he did it twice, and then Pac realized he was going to do it again. He faced him, and guess what? I don't believe I caught the shot. If I do, it happened in my face. He saw Pac as he was rolling out, and he just started smiling like, uh-oh, I got caught. This was fun. I enjoyed the hell out of this match. Now, I kind of wish that the Lucha Brothers didn't come out to help save Pac from losing the match, because they saved him. They went after best friends, and that distracted from the match. You could have just let him win anyway. And this is where, again, when I was talking about Cody and MJF, they need a mid-card title. They just need a mid-card title bad, because Pac, I know he's going to be dealing with freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy, but come on, there's only so much you can do with that. But this is just me. You guys tell me below. Finally, the match that I know everyone's going to think about compared to what I saw with Cassidy and Pac. Or with, well, I'm not saying the Young Bucks and Kenny and Paige were bad. They're not. But this is the one they're going to really think about the most, because this is the most important. They decided to give a title to a guy they knew has not been treated bad. Not badly, but horribly by the WWE. Pretty much being a yes man, willing to do anything to make something work. And they believed after everything he went through, he deserved this. And I'm talking about the Champion versus Mox title match. They did not start in the ring at first. There was just fighting. And when it came to Edwards, I believe her name is Alyssa Edwards. I gotta say this. I do like her. She's a good official. She does a good job in AEW. And I really do enjoy that. I enjoy that they show a good ref who has a good amount of personality, doesn't let no one do crap to her. Or him for that matter. I enjoyed that. That was one of the things that made the show better. Oh, I almost forgot. I couldn't stand commentary because there was no Taz. And I'm not against JR, but he didn't feel like he really belonged there. Particularly this match, he should have not been there. Or Giovanni should not have been there. They needed Taz. They could have switched out Giovanni, or they could have switched out JR, and I would have been happy with either one with Taz and Excalibur. I just had to say this because I didn't say it earlier. This was a very good match. Eventually, Mox got cut in the head. He started bleeding heavily. And the thing that made the story work was he didn't quit. He kept bleeding. He kept going. Alyssa Edwards allowed, I believe her name is Alicia. She allowed the match to continue going even with blood, even though PB was there. You got Guevara coming out, helping out, and you got Haggar coming out and helping out. Eventually, all of them got ejected. Except for Guevara, he did grab the title and whack Mox in the head. But in the end, we finally got to see Mox take that damn eye patch off, and he looked absolutely normal except for a big gash on his head. And he won. Now, here was the thing that was the best out of the entire show. It wasn't that he wasn't showing the title and walking around. It was when he talked afterward. And it was completely off the cuff. He was tired. He was breathing heavy. And at one point, when they thought he was done and the music started, he's saying, hey, what the fuck you doing? And they had to cut the music because he wasn't finished yet. That felt organic because that was off the cuff. He was basically saying, I've had one hell of a ride for the last year. And this title's not mine, it's yours. Because you made me have what I've always wanted. Pro wrestling. You guys wanted pro wrestling. He didn't say this, but you guys wanted pro wrestling. I wanted pro wrestling. We wanted pro wrestling. You fuel AEW. That also means it fuels himself. And it was kind of a kick to the WWE because he made it really clear. This is pro wrestling. Telling a real story, not just giving us matches that don't mean anything. And it really meant a lot. Now, here was the one problem. The crowd really was not enthusiastic in Chicago. What the hell was going on? Either the mics were low or the crowd was not super enthusiastic. Could be because it was 11:30 at night. So they need to do something about these pay-per-views. Make them shorter than the WWE. Make it 3 hours. They need to be careful. Because I think the crowd was exhausted by the time Mox was doing his closing. Because they didn't cheer a lot. They were just tired. Was this a bad show? Hell no. It was great. Because it was fun. Freshly squeezed Cassidy was fun. It wasn't that he flipped everywhere. It's because he did, as Undertaker always says, do more with less. He was just fun. And the Darby Allin versus Guevara match, I enjoyed that match because I had a hardcore wrestler in a Darby Allin go up against a high-flying wrestler and a Guevara. I enjoyed that. That was great. The women's match was weak. There ain't no lie about it. But it wasn't 100% bad and it got way better at the end. The weakest match there was Haggar versus Dustin. Let's be honest. That's the weakest match. But you guys tell me, have a good day. Have a good night. Peace.